Rafale is a twin-jet combat aircraft manufactured by Dassault Aviation and is capable of carrying out a wide range of short and long-range missions. It can be used to perform ground and sea attacks, reconnaissance, high-accuracy strikes and nuclear strike deterrence. In the late 1970s, the French Air Force and French Navy were seeking to replace and consolidate their current fleets of aircraft. In order to reduce development costs and boost prospective sales, France entered into an arrangement with the UK, Germany, Italy and Spain to produce an agile multi-purpose, future European fighter aircraft. Subsequent disagreements over work share and differing requirements led to France's pursuit of its own development program. Dassault built a technology demonstrator which first flew in July 1986 as part of an 8-year flight test program, paving the way for the go-ahead of the project. The Rafale is distinct from other European fighters of its era in that it is almost entirely built by one country, involving most of France's major defense contractors, such as Dassault, Thales and Safran. Many of the aircraft's avionics and features, such as direct voice input, the RBE-2 active electronically scanned array radar and the Optronique Secteur frontal infrared search and track sensor, were domestically developed and produced for the Rafale program. Originally scheduled to enter service in 1996, the Rafale suffered significant delays due to post-Cold War budget cuts and changes in priorities. The aircraft is available in 3 main variants: the Rafale C single-seat land-based version, Rafale B twin-seat land-based version, and the Rafale M single-seat carrier-based version. Introduced in 2001, the Rafale is being produced for both the French Air Force and for carrier-based operations in the French Navy. The Rafale has been marketed for export to several countries, and was selected for purchase by the Egyptian Air Force, the Indian Air Force, the Qatar Air Force, the Hellenic Air Force and the Croatian Air Force. This aircraft was developed as a modern jet fighter with a very high level of agility. Dassault chose to combine a delta wing with active close-coupled canard to maximize maneuverability. The Rafale is an aerodynamically unstable aircraft and uses digital fly-by-wire flight controls to artificially enforce and maintain stability. The aircraft's canards also act to reduce the minimum landing speed to 132 miles per hour. While in flight, and airspeeds as low as 17 miles per hour have been also observed during training missions. According to simulations by Dassault, the Rafale has sufficient low-speed performance to operate from stow-bar-configured aircraft carriers, and can take off using a ski jump with no modifications. Stow-bar or short takeoff but arrested recovery is a system used for the launch and recovery of aircraft from the deck of an aircraft carrier. Compared to cateau-bar or catapult-assisted takeoff but arrested recovery, stow-bar is less expensive to develop. It is easier to operate than a cateau-bar configuration, which requires large number of operators to launch the aircraft. Although not a full-aspect stealth aircraft, the cost of which was viewed as unacceptably excessive, the Rafale was designed for a reduced radar cross-section and infrared signature. In order to reduce the RCS, changes from the initial technology demonstrator include a reduction in the size of the tail fin, fuselage reshaping, repositioning of the engine air inlets underneath the aircraft's wing, and the extensive use of composite materials and serrated patterns for the construction of the trailing edges of the wings and canards. The Rafale's glass cockpit was designed around the principle of data fusion. The primary flight controls are arranged in a hands-on throttle and stick. The seat is inclined rearwards at an angle of 29 degrees to improve G-force tolerance during maneuvering and to provide a less restricted external pilot view. An intelligent flight suit worn by the pilot is automatically controlled by the aircraft to counteract in response to calculated G-forces. great emphasis has been placed on pilot workload minimization across all operations. Among the features of the highly digitized cockpit is an integrated direct voice input or DVI system. DVI system is a system allowing a range of aircraft functions to be controlled by spoken voice commands, simplifying the pilot's access to many of the controls. It is also capable of managing radio communications and countermeasure systems, the selection of armament and radar modes, and controlling navigational functions. For displaying information gathered from a range of sensors across the aircraft, the cockpit also features a wide-angle holographic head-up display system, two head-down flat panel color multi-function displays as well as a central collimated display. These displays have been strategically placed to minimize pilot distraction from the external environment. In the area of life support, the Rafale is fitted with a Martin Baker Mark ejection seat, capable of operation at 0 speed and 0 altitude. An onboard oxygen generating system, developed by Air Liquide, eliminates the need to carry bulky oxygen canisters. The Rafale's flight computer has been programmed to counteract pilot disorientation and to employ automatic recovery of the aircraft during negative flight conditions. The autopilot and autothrottle controls are also integrated, and are activated by switches located on the primary flight controls. The Rafale was first outfitted with the Thales RBE-2 passive electronically scanned multimode radar. The RBE-2 is radar that delivers a greater detection range of 200 kilometers, improved reliability and reduced maintenance demands. Thales also claims to have achieved increased levels of situational awareness as compared to earlier aircraft through the earlier detection and tracking of multiple air targets for close combat and long-range interception, as well as real-time generation of three-dimensional maps for terrain following and the real-time generation of high-resolution ground maps for navigation and targeting. To enable the Rafale to perform in the air supremacy role, it includes several passive sensor systems. The Optronique Secteur Frontal or OSF, developed by Thales, is completely integrated within the aircraft and can operate both in the visible and infrared wavelengths. The OSF enables the deployment of infrared missiles such as the Mica at beyond visual range distances. It can also be used for detecting and identifying airborne targets, as well as those on the ground and at sea. Dassault also describes the OSF as being immune to jamming and capable of providing covert long-range surveillance. Starting in 2008 onwards, Rafale deliveries have been to the nuclear-capable standard that also added reconnaissance with the Aerios reconnaissance pod. This aircraft are capable of undertaking many different mission roles with a range of equipment, namely air defense, superiority missions with Mica IR and M air-to-air missiles, and precision ground attacks typically using Scalp EG cruise missiles and AASM Hammer air-to-surface missiles. In addition, anti-shipping missions could be carried out using the AM-39 Exocet sea-skimming missile, while reconnaissance flights would use a combination of onboard and external pod-based sensor equipment. Furthermore, the aircraft could conduct nuclear strikes when armed with ASMPA missiles. In 2010, France ordered 200 MBDA Meteor beyond visual range missiles, which will greatly increase the distance at which the Rafale can engage aerial targets when the missile enters service. The Rafale is fitted with two Snecma M88 engines, each capable of providing up to 50 kilonewtons of dry thrust and 75 kilonewtons with afterburners. The engines feature several advances, including a non-polluting combustion chamber, single crystal turbine blades, powder metallurgy discs, and technology to reduce radar and infrared signatures. The M88 enables the Rafale to supercruise while carrying 4 missiles and 1 drop tank.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so
A total of 180 have been ordered by France and approximately 152 are confirmed to be delivered by 2018. Then in 2024 all the 28 remaining out of the 180 ordered will be delivered. In November 2014, Egypt was reportedly in negotiations with France to purchase 24 to 36 Rafales, subject to a financing agreement. By February 2015, the two countries were negotiating a loan from France's Export Credit Agency to reach an export agreement for up to 24 Rafale fighters. And on the 16th of February 2015, Egypt became the Rafale's first international customer when it officially ordered 24 Rafales. Starting in 2011, the Qatar Emiri Air Force evaluated the Rafale alongside the Boeing F/A-18E, F Super Hornet, the Boeing F-15E, the Eurofighter Typhoon, and the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II to replace its Dassault Mirage fleet. In June 2014, Dassault claimed it was close to signing a contract with Qatar for 72 Rafales. On the 30th of April 2015, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani announced to French President that Qatar would order 24 Rafale with an option to buy 12 more aircraft. And on the 4th of May, a contract for 24 Rafales was finalized. Additionally, the contract included the provision of long-range cruise missiles and Meteor missiles as well as the training of 36 Qatari pilots and 100 technicians by the French military and several Qatari intelligence officers. The Rafale was one of the 6 aircraft competing in the Indian MRCA competition for 126 Multirole fighters. Originally, the Mirage had been considered for the competition, but Dassault withdrew it in favor of the Rafale. In February 2011, French Rafales flew demonstrations in India, including air-to-air combat against Su-30 MKIs. On the 31st of January 2012, the IAF announced the Rafale as the preferred bidder. It was proposed that 18 Rafales would be supplied to the IAF by 2015 in flyaway condition, while the remaining 108 would be manufactured by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited in India under transfer of technology agreements. The delivery of 36 Rafales started on the 27th of July 2020 with first 5 Rafales delivered to Indian Air Force from France. By July 2021, a total of 26 Rafales had been received. In August 2020, the government of Greece announced the acquisition of 18 Rafale Multirole aircraft. Initial reports stated that 10 would be the new Rafale C variant in F3R standard with 8 older Rafale in F1 and F2 standard in use with the French Air Force, that would be given to Greece. However, later reports stated that all 18 aircraft would be delivered in F3R standard and would replace an equal number of older Mirage aircraft in service with the Hellenic Air Force. The Rafale F3R standard will have the following features: sustained air superiority capacity, enhanced resilience against GPS jamming, faster decision loop and sustained interoperability, higher ground target identification and designation capacity, with the integration of the new laser designation pod, sustained in-flight refueling capacity, with the integration of a new generation pod, integration of the GBU-16, laser-guided 500 kg bomb, enhanced flight safety, with the integration of an automatic ground collision system, an enhanced support system, with an accelerated and more accurate fault diagnosis capacity. Croatia officially received a proposal for 12 second-hand French Air Force Rafales F3R in September 2020 for a tender to replace its aging MiG-21. And on the 28th of May 2021, the Prime Minister of Croatia Andrej Plenković announced the Croatian government's decision to buy 12 used French Rafale F3R fighters, to replace the old MiG-21 fighters used by Croatian Air Force.